Tonight on Attack of the Killer Trees, a tree viciously vandalizes this man's home.
I was just minding my own business when suddenly this tree just attacked and wrecked my house. That's a home wrecker if I've ever seen one.
Watch nature fight back and reclaim its stolen land from this innocent couple.
I looked back 1 second and my wife was out in the back, and suddenly this huge tree with big angry teeth just came up and started attacking our home. I just went by my instincts and called out to my wife saying, "Mary Jane, get the kids and run away as far as you possibly can." But the tree got to them before I could.
And for tonight's special, we've brought in an actual real-life tree to understand the mentality of a killer tree. We trees like our home, and if you're gonna build around us, you better show some respect. Yeah! Cause we're not gonna take it anymore. You try to chop us down, we're coming for you. Learn how to defend yourselves and your homes from these ruthless killing machines in tonight's special episode of Attack of the Killer Trees. Buy my mechanical pencils at technicaldraft.com/shop. Here's an example of a man-made structure damaged by nature. Here's a question. How far should a man-made structure be built away from a tree so that this doesn't happen? Well, you're about to find out. In construction books, it's recommended that a tree should be planted away from a building at a certain distance, and the minimum distance that a tree should be planted away from a house has to be about the same as the expected height of the tree when it's fully grown. And if you want to play it safe, take it away even further. Have a look at this cross-section that I drew. See how the tree roots spread out about the same distance as the branches? Well, why does the tree have to be planted so far from the building? Or why does the house have to be built this far from a tree? Well, if the gap from the tree and the house is less than the recommended minimum distance, which is the expected full height of the mature tree, then expect this to happen. Ooh, that looked expensive. Have a look at this video by Akron Beacon Journal. Just look at how this tree crushed the house. This room was probably a kitchen, and you could just imagine how the scene unfolded inside the home. A teenage kid that's going through a phase was probably cooking some ramen noodles while air guitaring to some headbangers on full volume. Suddenly, he hears a mighty crash and his noodles spill on the ground. Once the dust settles, he sees that his noodles are on the ground because the kitchen was caved in by a colossus tree that was trying to reclaim his patch of nature that the house is now occupying. Maybe the tree had an old friend in that spot and was forced to watch him get brutally cut down by site workers who followed the architect's instructions to clear the trees from the site area.
No! I've known you for 150 years. Don't do this to me. Don't leave. No.
This is how a killer tree is created. This is what happens when your house is within a tree's range. A tree that has vengeance on its mind. The trees will try to take revenge. Also notice the gaping hole in the ground that's been left by the uprooted tree. It's quite possible that this tree has caused structural damage to the foundations of the house, and the dislodging of the earth around the foundations might have further caused weakening and erosion of the foundations. This tree attacked the house from top to bottom. So how does a tree damage a building with its roots? How did this tree cause this wall to fall apart? When a tree grows, we know that it has roots that spread out from underground, and those roots can burrow their way into floors, walls, and pavements. It doesn't really need an explanation, but when the tree roots burrow into a man-made structure like a parasite from Resident Evil. It forces the mortar between the bricks apart and causes cracks and weakening, or erosion. Now this process of breaking the wall down is only half complete. It's not the end of how the roots affect the cracks. These cracks in the walls are an invitation for freeze-thaw damage in the winter to finish the job and destroy the wall altogether. I've made a separate video showing you how freeze-thaw damage affects your walls, and you can find a link to that video in the card above or a link in the description. And I'll probably include it on the end screen as well. I think it's clear from these videos that you should keep your houses far away from trees. If you enjoyed the video, and help me out by liking this video so that YouTube sends these videos out, to more viewers like you. And if you haven't already, then consider subscribing. On this channel, we talk about architecture and technical drawing, namely the science of architecture, or architectural technology. Thanks for watching.